Hello again, it's Justin here on the Film Recipes channel, taking another video clip for the exploration of film recipes. And today it's quite an interesting situation, because I could tell before I got up that the sun was going to be up, it's going to be cold, and it's going to be quite crisp, but I wasn't sure whether we were going to have any haze, any frost, or whether or not it was going to be very, very clear. And those sort of variations in conditions can make a big difference to your photography. And of course, if you're into film recipes as much as I am, then of course it means your choices are going to be quite different. So today I loaded up my camera with quite a variety of different recipes, and you know, even now that I'm come out, maybe the ones I've selected aren't going to be the best. So I think this is a good situation for describing how planning can help. Obviously, as you get to know which film recipes are good for different things, you know, that can give you a head start. But sometimes you're just going to have to face the conditions as they are, have a look through the camera, try a few shots, and if it isn't right, you maybe make some changes. So I came with a variety of things loaded, and I think the one I'm going to use is actually one that's going to use the sort of very bold, clear conditions, because I just got bright sunshine, as you can see here, blue skies, not a cloud anywhere, and the frost and the haze have cleared pretty much. There's just only a little bit around, so you know, you've got perhaps a different aesthetic than when I came out. So that's probably a good opportunity for me to quickly describe the app. So yes, so film recipes, I've created many, and I've got a website on film.recipes which has about 300 on there. But in the recent months I've been working on an app to carry all these around, and there's over 600 now in my film recipes app. And you can see I've got one loaded up here that I'm going to use, called Turkish, which is adds a turquoise tint to things. It's quite bold, it's got that turquoise teal tone, and adds a lot of colour contrast, and I think in very bright conditions that could be quite fun. So I'm going to test that one out. But in the app, of course, you've got the ability firstly to have lots of recipes with you, so you can quickly examine them and, you know, change and load up your camera with something different. So it's a good way to carry lots of recipes around. So that's part one. And the second thing is that in the app you can filter by all sorts of different aesthetic styles. So for frosty, for foggy, for golden hour, sunrise, you know, for, you know, bold, bright conditions, all sorts of things like this. And it will give you different lists of recipes that may well work if you like to explore blue tones or golden tones, cream tones, you know, that sort of thing. And I think that's a really useful feature for helping to narrow down your choices, and so that's all in there. So anyway, that's a little plug for the app, and obviously great for me if you take a look at that or the website, and you know, great for you because you get lots of recipes as a result. So there we are. Right, so we're going to try out on this suburban little footpath. You can probably hear the traffic noise. We're not too far from the edge of town, and even though it's quite early in the morning, there are planes going overhead from time to time, traffic on a nearby road. But this is a little bit of fields where they keep some horses. It's got a rather nice line of oak trees behind, and just in front of me is a little patch of land that is very wild, and you know, has some close-up opportunities for ferns and, you know, other bits and pieces, which if you look at any of my pictures you'll know that I enjoy. So I'm going to take a few pictures to show you this Turkish film recipe, and then when I come back I'll explain a little bit more about it. So there's a few photos taken with this Turkish film recipe, which is a very bold classic chrome recipe, in that it has a lot of settings pushed a little bit beyond normal to something a bit more extreme. And in that we've got +2 on the tone curve, so boost to contrast with extra highlights, extra shadows. So obviously if you overexpose this one, you'll burn things out or get very, very dark shadows, but that's part of the aesthetic here. +4 on the color, which will exaggerate those tealy tones, when those tealy tones come from this sort of turquoise colour balance at -6, -6, which shoves it far into the blue-green. And you'll really see that in the bold colours that you get from shooting anything that is green. And I've been shooting through some leaves there, so you can sort of see that. And if you've got the sky in the picture, that is quite vivid as well, and you can use that color contrast as well as the actual contrast. And I've been using some of the branches on these trees, which are as they get to the end of winter here, not yet got leaves on, so you've got those patterns as well. So it's quite fun to explore and experiment with. And use it in this winter setting. As it happens, I think it would be rather good in the sunshine in the summer as well, and the sort of very kind of pop colour sort of style that could be used on sort of vacations and on beaches and all that sort of thing. So I'm sure I'll return to this at some other point in the year. Right, that's that. Let's take a few more and see where we can go as we follow this footpath down. We're through the little wasteland area with all the ferns, and there's a little bit of spring coming into some of the trees, so let's see if I can grab a few shots of that, and we'll see what that looks like too. So here we are then. We have taken a whole bunch of pictures now in this cold morning light with low sun, extreme contrast and very, very bright conditions. And we've used a Turkish film recipe from the Film Recipes app. And we've used this one because we've decided to work with those conditions and magnify them rather than compete against them or try and tone them down. And so we've gone for one with the extra contrast, extra colour, and a kind of wild colour balance. So there we go. That's the Turkish film recipe with a Q, Turkish. And yeah, it's really quite interesting to see how it works in the with the greens particularly, and the blues as well. So that's a recipe that is great in those sort of aesthetic situations, and when you want to play with the colour in that way. And it's quite fun for me because I quite often go the other way and go for very soft colours. I like to pull out the creams and compress the contrast, but it's quite fun to try something a little different. And that is also the beauty of Film Recipes, because you can load your camera with a range of different settings and test your creativity and see how you can pick out different items and explore different looks. So it's a great thing, and I know you know this, and another reason why Fujifilm cameras are so much fun. So okay, we're going to leave it there for another episode in the Film Recipes channel. Out of breath here walking back. So it's Justin here in the suburbs of Southampton, wandering the footpaths in the early morning, and it'd be great if you followed me on the journey, so all this walking around in the freezing cold was worth it, maybe. I don't know. No, I enjoy myself. I do have a good time. So look, thank you. Do like or subscribe to the videos if you'd like to see some more of them. I am making a whole series of these as I work my way slowly through the film recipes that I've created, and try to show you a little bit about how they work in different situations and why I choose to use the ones that I do. So okay, that'll be that. Of course, visit the website if you can. Do have a look at the app, and if that's of interest to you, of course any downloads will be appreciated. But for now, I'll say goodbye, and I'll see you hopefully very soon on another episode in the Film Recipes channel. Thanks so much.